morning, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm kind of excited for today.
Skeet Reese going to be on today here in about 15, 20 minutes. And you had an exciting weekend.
Did I?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
You got barrel racing.
Yeah.
You've got the Bass University.
Oh, yeah, I did.
We're involved.
Okay.
Come on, man.
It's Tuesday
clueless?
already, and I'd forgotten about the weekend. Yeah. Was it Kansas? Went to a barrel race, and then Sunday, the Bass University was in Tulsa. I think this is their, fourth or fifth year in a row that they've been to Tulsa, but also very well attended there. And I was there on Sunday and listened to a couple awesome seminars by John Cruz and Jason Christie.
Did you hear Crete?
I did not hear Crete.
All right.
Crete
I got
spoke on Saturday.
No, he was there on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday
too.
morning for the first part. For the first part of the day, I was there for the afternoon.
Yeah, he is quite entertaining.
He is good. I've heard him.
Very
I heard
good.
him the last couple years. He's been there too. I think also the day before. I think Jordan Lee flew in for it, and James Elam was there, and so a very well attended Bass University in Tulsa.
It was interesting because I talked to Christy. I was there Sunday morning, and then I had to leave to get back. Talked to Christy, talked to Crete, and it was interesting how they noticed what they were deeming as super fans. They had super fans there. Did you notice the super fans?
Yeah, there's a couple guys that they get starstruck, very starstruck over Jason Christie.
But they
and
are
Jeff
cool
Crete.
though. It is so funny to see them interact with these guys in person. They're just kind of in awe.
Well, that's good.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome to see him mingle with the big name guys at that thing. And that's one of the benefits of that deal is, man, they were getting with them and asking them one-on-one questions. And if that venue is coming, or that event is coming to a venue that's near you, you need to check it out.
Absolutely. It's cool. I learned stuff. I know all the other guys stick around too. You know, when Cruz was talking, Christie stuck around. When Christie was talking, Crete and Cruz stuck around because they give the juice up. I mean, when you talk that much, you can't keep everything under your hat. You can't lie for an hour straight. You got to have some good stuff.
Hey, I thought it was cool that you mentioned before the show that you recall Christie saying something about that he actually talked about at the seminar when we were doing the live thing with him.
Yeah, when he was on the he was on our show, was it last week or the week before? Or anyway, he was live on the water at 10 Killer, and he divulged that he was throwing a rogue, I believe.
No shocker there.
And he said something at his seminar about how he had been catching them last week, and he didn't name the body of water, but he mentioned what color of rogue he was throwing, and I put two and two together. So now I know what he was throwing and what lake he was throwing it on. We pretty much have the winning pattern.
All right, welcome Jimmy. Jimmy from Florida is on the instant feedback, and he throws out there, my friend's daughter does barrel racing in Florida, and it has to be one of the oddest events I've ever attended. Is that your first one? Is that the first one you've ever been to?
No, I've been to, probably about 7 or 8 of them now.
So is it like bass fishing?
It's like bass fishing, except there's just as much prep work. There's the driving, the trailering, the entry fees, the competitors, except it lasts 15 seconds.
And then, boom, you're over.
The horse in the trailer.
Rather than 10 hours on the water or whatever.
Drive home. So there's a lot of time for preparation and reflection, whereas in fishing, the tournament actually gives you a lot of time to make up for potential errors that barrel racing does not.
But it's the horse.
Don't worry, folks. We're not going to start comparing bass fishing to barrel racing now to add to the bowling and the golf and the basketball and the baseball and the football.
Hey, by the way, Joe in Boston says, that's how I felt when he met you at Conroe. He was awestruck, starstruck.
Yeah.
Do you remember Joe?
No.
You don't?
But I'm sure I bet him.
Oh, geez.
I remember to see him.
You couldn't even remember
to see him.
You couldn't even remember what happened this weekend, little alone.
No, I do also remember, though, that Tim Frederick had a pretty epic shootout. I mean, you get these FLW Tour events down in Florida that kick off on Okeechobee. They seem to do it every year. Kind of status quo, kind of by the book. And the same guys, 3 of the top 5 Florida guys. You can talk about the HFA. This is funny. You said the HFA. I got a text from one of our listeners who I know, and he was like, what the hell does HFA mean? I said, home field advantage. He goes, oh, okay. I said, yeah, Jeffries likes to rant about it. He said, quote, I'm listening to said rant now.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, Tim Frederick, a Florida pro, edged out Brian Schmidt from Maryland, the guy who's the man on the Potomac River. And they both caught giants in the last 15 minutes and both thought they had won it with the giant, but Fredericks was like a 9. So it was an exciting end to the tournament. And they continued to catch them throughout the event. It wasn't the 28, 30 pounds and then 12-8. It wasn't the hang on to win. It was like you had to go chase the win. You had to go beat it.
Yeah.
So
what was the deal with all the Ozark guys doing well?
I don't know.
That was crazy.
Chad Morgenthaler spent some winters down there in Florida. And has spent a lot of time on Okeechobee. He has buddies that are down there. He's buddies with Glenn Brown, who I read an article was going to fish the tour this year and had.
But I don't really consider
issues.
him. Yes, he's an Ozark guy because he moved there.
He's originally from Illinois, but he spent a lot of time down there. And then remember, we've had James Watson on. James Watson this time of year loves throwing those moving baits down in Florida. He's done really well on the horny toad and a bladed jig and a speed worm and all that type of stuff. And then Casey Scanlon's been on a tear. If you look at how he did last year in the tour with his finish in the Angler of the Year, and obviously he's had a lot of experience down there over the years. And then Jeremy Lawyer, former All-American winner Lake of the Ozark specialist, he caught him really well too. So yeah, there were as many Ozark guys as there were Florida guys in the top 20, but 3 of the top 5 finishers were from Florida, including the 2 McMillans who actually live on the lake.
Hey, our good friend Maynard wants to know what color Rogue was Christie throwing.
He said it in his seminar.
Yeah, he did.
A fire tiger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There you have it, Maynard. Which is not surprising.
No.
Not at all. I remember they used to make... Do you remember the Thunder Stick?
Yeah, you've got a bunch of those old ones.
The original Thunder Stick that's in Fire Tiger was money.
It just... That bait just looks so dopey. It's hard for me. I had to get over the look of the old Rogue just because it's not a
we don't have a lot of time.
Seductive looking bait.
You were not a Rogue fisherman. You
I am.
You weren't though.
No, it looked horrible when you read it. When you cranked it in, it would spin through the water. It kind of had a weird kind of chugging instead of it didn't have badass patterns on it. And then
you were intrigued by.
I had that day, that Bass Nation, where I went out and it was early in the year. I think it was a March tournament and it was kind of snowing and I just mauled them on it. And now I probably got my Rogue box. I probably have 75 to 100 of them. But I have not gotten on the Thunder Stick train yet.
Yeah.
Were those harder to tune because they had the plastic bill that were molded into the bait?
No, not really. I mean, there was a trick.
When was the last time you caught a fish on a Thunder Stick?
10 years ago? 10? 12 years ago? Something like that at Texoma. That Fire Tiger Thunder Stick is a big deal at Texoma. All right. A lot of people... We'll get to it here in a minute. The other thing, a lot of people blowing up the instant feedback about the big news about the initials, KVD, making the move.
He's not going anywhere. He is now spot locked. He is now spot locked.
Yeah.
With Minn Kota.
And he has been with Motor Guide, was with Motor Guide for a zillion years.
Do you not remember those back in the day? The Motor Guide Never Stop stuff with Kevin and the ads and the Bassmasters with the eyes and the black background. I mean, those
Here's
made
my
you want to
take
get,
on this. All right, from a business standpoint, here's my take. He has been with Mercury for a zillion years. Motor Guide is a Mercury product, but at the same time, he's with Humminbird, right?
Yeah.
All right, which falls under this conglomerate.
Because you can link them.
And some of the other things and everything. I don't know, man. When you're the GOAT and you're looking at certain properties from a usage standpoint, but I think dollars are the bottom line. I will say this much in what I know about him. He is very, very loyal. Very loyal to all of his sponsors. And when you look at his sponsor lineup over the years, there hasn't been a whole lot of change. Right? There has been some, but for the most part, if you went back over, say, the last 10, 12 years, there hasn't been a whole lot of flipping back and forth.
His portfolio has remained rather stable.
And I think that says a lot about the class that he has and about the loyalty that Kevin has to his sponsors. So I think it was purely a business decision that was related to obviously finances, but at the same time, I think it had to do with how he is tying in his ability to perform. And not that he couldn't do that with Motor Guide. I just think that there were some things that happened that obviously money and obviously performance kind of led him to make that move.
There's an interesting ad.
But I don't think you question his loyalty. Because
no, I wasn't. You're the one who's bringing that up.
I think he's proven
100%.
how loyal he is to the companies that he's been with over the years. It's just going to be kind of different.
Yeah, there's now a new disturbing trend in the fishing industry as that involves putting tournament jerseyed anglers in a office cubicle setting.
Yeah.
If you look at, Bassmaster did the spin-off of the This Is Sports Center where they had Shaw Grigsby and stuff. I believe Power Pole's done some stuff with like Chris Lane and stuff in there, hasn't he? And then you've got the Team GT with Edwin and Skeet that are in the office.
Yeah.
And now Brandon comes out with Kevin Van Dam in the office.
Yeah.
It's either the same marketing group that is doing all of these ads, or they just think it resonates with the average guy who's watching it in the cubicle.
I don't know. They're kind of funny.
They are.
Yeah. But
well, now there's five different ones that are all the same premise.
Will they get a little burned out? Do you remember when Bass did the copier video?
Yeah. Yep. I was copying on this machine here too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just a trend that will last maybe for a few more months, and then boom, they will move on to something else. That's how they roll. All right, TJ in North Carolina wants to know if I absolutely destroyed the team of which I used to coach that we visited on Friday night. Actually, Matt heard the story. It was quite humorous. I'm not going to go into it. But yes, we did win, and yes, I was not involved in any controversy,
shenanigans?
Nothing.
That game.
I was a true professional.
But there were controversies and shenanigans in the game.
Yes, there were. And I just stood underneath the goal at the opposite
That's
end.
because if you make one small mistake, you are banned for life. Your track record is not the best. So know that you have to remain squeaky clean, because after your history, you are not getting the benefit of the doubt.
It's just funny because, all eyes were on me. Not an ego statement or anything like that because of the history and everything. Everybody was watching to see if I was going to do anything. Dude, I didn't do anything.
Is this the one where you walked in at the end when you weren't coaching and you just walked in, you took the TV right off the wall and said, this is my TV. I'm taking it with me. And then someone else walked in and was like, someone stole our TV. And they called the cops and they had to straighten it all out. And it was like, no, that was Jeffrey's TV. And when he pieced out, he took the TV with him.
That was it.
You just walked in and said, sorry, folks, unplugged it while they were watching it, popped it right off the wall, left the brackets there, and wheeled it out.
Bolted. It was my TV. By gosh, no, that was 8 years ago. So
it's also interesting. They paid down to 60 places in the Joe talked about that when we had him on, 60 places. So 60th place was Alan Boyd. He had 25-8 there on Okeechobee.
Here's an interesting thought. David in Kentucky wants to know: do you think KVD will switch to lose now that they are linked with Strike King? I would say no.
No, he's been with Quantum forever.
Yeah.
Well, he had been with Motor Guide forever.
Yeah. I would say no. Just that's just a gut feeling. I would say no. But
I'm not even saying anything. We already went through that with the Wesley Strader decision, so I'm on whether he'd fish the elites or not. So I'll stick with one dead wrong opinion for.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a break here in a minute, but you were perusing at some of Skeet's stats for 2017, and he had quite the up and down, didn't he?
Yeah, he did not do well at all.
But he still made the Classic.
He still made the Classic. I mean, he had 3 finishes below 80, like in the first 6 tournaments
Not
of the year.
Not a vintage Skeet
year. Had to make a real good comeback and finished 33rd in the Angler of the Year standings at the end, and had a third place finish there at Mille Lacs. So yeah, I wonder if we ask him what it's like. I mean, he also asked him about Shaw Grigsby joining the team, using his reels and rods now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Do you think that, because I remember Brent Chapman did that for a couple years, you remember? Do you think that gets in the guys' heads when they're out competing and they look down and all of their other stuff has their competitors' colors and logos on it? Like, I've always thought, like, if I was fishing against KVD, I wouldn't want to have to look at every single cast and see that damn KVD logo on my crankbait, on my crankbait rod. The Tour KVD stuff. I want to wrap that up because I'm trying to, beat him, not be reminded about how great he is, that he has his whole line of rods and reels and baits.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, did you watch any of the FLW live stuff?
I did. I watched some really of it. Good. It was very good.
Very, very good. All right, let's do this. Let's roll into a commercial break, and then hopefully we will come back with Skeet Reese. I know he's en route.
Where's he en route to?
I think he might have.
Does he do the school thing still?
Yeah, I think so.
Because last time we had him on, I think he was waiting to drop his kids off or pick his kids up.
All right, so let's take a break. Come back with Skeet Reese. Everybody stay tuned.
The most versatile fishing machine on Earth. Unparalleled resolution and clarity, with more agility, lightning speed, and brute strength. HDS Carbon takes rapid response performance and screen technology to an all-new level. Maximized power, maximized visibility. See Structure Scan 3D, new dual chirp sonar, new live network sonar, and more mapping options, all at the same time and faster than ever before.
Pros depend on hydraulic jack plates to get the best out of their boats. Do what they do. Demand Atlas performance. Atlas gets you from the bottom to the top in less than 8 seconds, even with the big 4 strokes. And when you gotta turn right around and get that heavy load back up in rough water, Atlas's innovative design and American-made components will get you there with confidence.
I'm Mike Defo. Just look for yourself. There's an Atlas jack plate on just about every professional's boat.
The Atlas hydraulic jack plate. You can depend on it.
My rods look different because they are different. Every rod is built by the pros and for the pros. When you pick up a white Duffet fishing rod, you're getting a cutting-edge rod, one that's truly pro-driven, with the actions you need for every bait category you fish. I put my name on it. It's my promise to build you a great rod you can count on.
Duffet Fishing, Micro Magic, Macro Magic, or White Ice.
Try them. They work.
What's up, guys? Scott Martin here, Team AFCO. Hey, if you want to have a chance to fish with me at a lake near you, well, check out the link below. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
The Lowrance Elite 7 TI. Why does it lead the pack? It's simple. More bang for your buck. Use Elite 7 TI with the all-new Total Scan transducer, and you get all of your sonar from a single transducer install. That's broadband sounder, chirp sonar, side scan, and down scan imaging from one transducer. Now that's something to chirp about. Elite 7 TI. Premium features have never been so affordable.
I'm looking for signs before practice even starts. Crossing the bridge, I'm checking for current. Is the lake up or down? What's my watercolor? Bird activity tells me where the shad are before I ever launch my boat. Sometimes the best things hit me right in the face.
The pesky biffle bugs. There's always a hatch on your lake. Made in America by Jean LaRue Lures.
Dang bug juice, it's everywhere.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
SX1 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line.
Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
All right, we are back on a Tuesday. And I think we're going to have Skeet on. Well, I know we're going to have Skeet on live via Skype. I didn't know if it was going to be a phone call or Skype, but fortunately,
It's Skype.
you've got him dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay, man?
Yeah, I'm good. He's
I'm
got
really-
almost. I was looking around. He's got some cool jerseys.
He does.
He's
talk
got the
about
old
that.
school jerseys.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Skeet, you there, man?
What's up, players?
How are you?
Every day's a good day. Some days are better than others.
I definitely know that feeling. So, a typical morning being at home for you today, though, correct? Taking the kids to school, getting ready. Typical morning, right?
I did kid to school. One of the kids to school, hit the gym, and came back, got my little protein shake in. Now talking to you two.
What type of protein are you rolling with? I was into that a couple years ago. Are you into the whey stuff? I mean, what are we?
So I'm going. I split it up. One day I'm on a plant-based, and then the next day I'm on a whey. So the plant-based one, it's all that, the whole veggie one. It makes nice, good floaters.
Yeah, dude. Do you ever left one of those things with that little roller ball in like the boat or the truck for a couple days?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When you got whey protein in these things, and you forget to drink it, and you let it ferment in the sun for a couple days. I'm trying to think how to describe the smell. And if you go and you pop the lid, it's like
similar.
An explosion.
Yeah, it's like when you forget. It's like when you're fun fishing and you think you're going to catch fish for pictures, or you're crappie fishing and you just throw one or two in and then totally forget about it, and then you open your live well up in the summer like 4 days later. It's very similar to that same type of feeling that you get.
So.
All right, man. Let's jump right in and reflect just for a few minutes, because Matt and I were both talking before the show that 2017 was not a vintage Skeet Reese season, but at the same time, man, it was like a roller coaster. It was just up and down. Why do you think that was?
Well, if I knew, I would have done it. I mean,
But now when you reflect back, I know that.
Yeah, it's hard to say whether it was a mental state, bad decisions. Obviously, there's some bad decisions in there where I thought I was doing what I needed to do to, whether it was go for a win or I don't know. I like Florida. I mean, I remember starting out at Okeechobee. I never got on anything great, but I thought I got on, 15 pounds a day, which would have been fine. Check, points, get me out of there. Because I never found anything like could put me in a top 10 or winning position. And in the end, then it got sunny and slick, and I couldn't catch them the way I was been catching them. I couldn't adjust. So I pretty much, I just went from having a solid game plan, I thought, to just crashed and burned. So just, that's the way the season was. There'd be one good tournament, one bad tournament, and then, but I'm still looking back. I'm more proud about how I finished the season than anything. It's all the bad tournaments got erased. I looked at how I finished, and it just pumped me up. I was like, I fished the way I wanted to fish. I fished strong, put myself in the classic. So I did everything I needed to do. So that was the most important thing.
Yeah, 4 top 25 finishes in the last 5 tournaments that you fished. Going back then to the beginning of the year and tying it into the beginning of this year, are the real early season tournaments like we had at Cherokee last year? Who knows exactly what the water temp's going to be coming up for this opening one next week? Are those kind of scary as far as if those fish are in the winter pattern, you either find them or you don't? You see what I'm saying? You seem to be a guy who does a lot of fishing around, covering water, figuring it out as it goes, and you get these early season tournaments where you get guys who, drop on them and they're there and they stay there for 4 days, and if you don't find them, you're screwed. Are those more nerve-wracking for guys like you who kind of seem to put stuff together as it goes and do a bunch of different things typically in your tournaments?
Historically, I look back at a lot of the tournaments I've won. I'm not leading the tournament after day one. Mm-hmm. I'm down and I progress and I work up. I figure it out more and more because I just start fishing by feel and I learn as I go. So wintertime, I don't ever seem to have the glory school to drop on. That's very rare that I've got a spot that I can I'm like, I know they're there. I'm gonna pull up and whack on them. So this time of year, I'm looking. I have a feeling, at least looking at Martin anyhow. You're going to be able to fish shallow or deep. So I think I'm just kind of right now. I'm on the fence of whether I'm going to want to do, but then again, I don't want to alienate anything, even when I'm there. So I might be out fishing at 80 foot of water for an hour, and then I might be back up on the bank the next. So just trying to fish open-minded and do whatever I got to do to catch as many fish as I can and the most weight I can. However I got to do it, I don't care how I do it.
All right, let's talk about 2018 since you kind of touched on it. Been doing this obviously a long time. Have you done anything different during the off season, or has it been pretty much the same in getting ready for 2018?
Anything different? No, I took a break from fishing. As far as bass fishing, had some saltwater time down in Mexico, but I usually take a break from being on the water. I was probably in the gym maybe more than normal, but I'm also getting older, so I have to. So, but not much. I don't know. Right now I feel like the end of the season, just from a mental standpoint, I think I'm a much better mental frame of mind than I've been in quite some time.
Did you go steelhead fishing?
No, the 1 week I had to go, I was able to go. The rivers blew out. Like the only week we've had any rain here, and it just totally crushed my steelhead dreams for the week.
Didn't you guys go steelhead fishing?
Yeah, it was one of the funnest trips I've been on, and he cracked my ass because I was kind of a wuss trying to get across the river. But the waders, I was a wuss, okay, because the waders that I have didn't have felt on
was
the
that
bottom.
Before you had the numb leg too?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the last time you went fishing, wasn't it?
It was not. Jeez. It was not. No, that was really cool.
The last time you fished. When was the last time you took a breath?
Oh, I forgot. You guys fished fishing chips together.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Do you remember fishing with Jeffrey, Skeet? I totally forgot about this.
Jeffrey.
You did?
It's all coming back to you now, huh, Banger?
What?
Dude, he can't remember what he did this past weekend, Skeet. That's how bad he's getting.
I have to, in his defense, I'm not much different on that one. So.
Yeah, but we have reasons. He doesn't.
Oh, wait. You guys caught him on Arbuckle on a Carolina rig.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a grind then. There was one fish over 5 pounds caught that week.
Yeah, Kisselberg caught that 9-pounder on a tube.
It was crazy.
All right.
Crazy. All right, I do want, and there's a number of people on the instant feedback, from a business perspective, how would you classify the climate from a sponsorship standpoint, with you being one of the superstars in the game? Is the sponsorship climate good, or is it challenging? How would you classify it, Skeet?
Both.
All right.
In the current state of economy market, companies are spending money on advertising, marketing. So which is good. So the advertising budgets within the industry are there. Unfortunately, we're not seeing the growth in the fishing industry as far as sales. I think 17 was a challenging year in the fishing industry, just because there's a lot of volatility when it came to brick and mortar retail. And so that affected sales for a lot of people, affected the business. So, and ultimately that's what we're talking about. I mean, boat and motor sales were excellent in 17. Terminal tackle, rods, reels, lures, all that. It was a good year, but it could have been a lot better for pretty much everybody if there wasn't so much turmoil going on in the brick and mortar segment, retail. So 18 should be better, but it still goes back to, I think companies are very cautious about what they're spending on their advertising budgets, and they're being very selective on who they're going to put on their team and who they're going to give a paycheck to. So there's more guys getting paychecks out of some deals right now than we've had in some time, which is great. But I think corporate-wise, there's still some hesitation. And then it goes back to there's those that bring a value to a brand, to a company, and bring exposure and knowledge, product development, all that. So unfortunately, we have a lot of guys out there that just don't want to work either. So they want to catch a fish, and that's all they want to do to be a professional fisherman. The marketing side is not something they really care about. They want the paycheck. They just don't want to do what they got to do to get it.
All right. David in Wisconsin wants to know, do you have everything ready to go? Truck, boat, wrap, equipment. What's that look like?
Yeah, it's all good. I think my rig is probably actually in Oklahoma today. Really? Hey, it's right next to you guys. It is.
Really?
It is getting a boat cover made in Oklahoma, I think yesterday, today. And it'll be in Alabama by the end of the week. So it is all wrapped. General Tire and Lucky Craft are the title sponsors on the boat and truck this year. Boat's a little brighter, a lot more yellow on it. Looks pretty. It actually turned out really cool this year. Change up some graphics on it. I think it looks good. But yeah, it was kind of a scramble for about a month to get everything out of here. My rig left this last Friday morning. So now I got a couple packages showing up of miscellaneous baits that I'll throw in the suitcase and bring with me. But for the most part, I am packed, done. Tackle's ready to go rock at Lake Martin, and I'm kind of like in a starting gate, just foot's tapping, ready to go.
Skeet, this is maybe a personal question, but I think you'll be able to answer it. So I've got a buddy who's not into fishing at all. He has no idea what it was. I can kind of golf with him and stuff. And he was looking at pictures of professional fishing, and he saw, all the guys' rigs and all that stuff coming out. And then he comes across the F650 and the yellow boat of Skeet Reese. And he looked at me and he goes, "Why is that guy's truck so big?" And I said, "Well, I think there's a couple reasons." But I said, "Hell, you're on now. Why the big truck?" Because obviously, right? Okay, is that the only reason? But you see,
one of the main reasons I bought it, or one of the contributing factors to it, was fuel capacity. When I was looking for a new vehicle, everything in the market at the time had like a 25 to 35 gallon tank, and I just came out of Ford Excursion that had a 44 gallon tank that I could pull a boat 700 miles before fueling up. So I wanted something with fuel capacity, and then I saw Byron Velvet pulled up with one of those. They lent it to him at, I think, Clark's Hill, big black one. I'm like, that's the baddest truck I've ever seen. So started researching, and it's like, okay, I got 220 gallons of fuel, plus I got the coolest looking truck there is. But from a marketing standpoint, it's the best money I've ever spent.
You make more sponsor dollars because of that truck. Do you think so?
Well, I don't know. I'm not. I can't say yes or no. I like to think it's based on my performance more than anything. But it is. You could have every truck on tour in a parking lot, and everybody will go to my truck and take a picture of it. There's more pictures taken of that truck than all the rest of the tour combined.
Hey, Brian.
So,
Brian in Philadelphia wants to know who drives it. Who drives it for you?
So, I do actually still drive some, but unfortunately, I got a buddy of mine, Jimmy Sparks. He lives in Alabama. He's retired guy, so I hire him to drive to events, and so I'll fly into Alabama next Saturday. And they'll pick me up, and he'll go to the tournament with me that week. And so, but sometimes, last year I did a lot of driving across the country and back and forth. He had some health issues, but it allows me to be able to be home more. Excuse me. I get more days home with the family, or I get a lot more work done. I can be other appearances, and because coming up, I got another event I got to do before another tournament, so I can just fly in, get some work done, and then fly from there to the next tournament.
No, that's what I thought, but I think that's an overlook to the marketing value of that and how cool it is. Because we're at every single Elite Series, and we walk through the parking lot, and there is always a group of people around Skeet's truck. So.
Yeah, it is. It's so yeah. Are they cheap? No, but is they call it a 1,000,000-mile truck. It's 4.5 ton suspension. It's got a Cummins 350 in it with a 6-speed Allison transmission. The guy Chris makes them in Augusta, Georgia. Custom trucks by Chris. And mine's not even a big one. That's what I was telling somebody this morning at the gym. They saw the truck last week, and they said, "Oh my gosh, that thing's huge." And I'm like, "Well, he makes a 6-door version with a 12-inch lift kit that makes my truck look small."
Wow.
Is that next year? Is that what you're going to have?
No chance. Trying to park that thing would be a pain in the ass.
You don't have to park it. Jimmy parks it.
Good point.
Wow. Joe in Oklahoma, Dan in Texas, and Ben in Tennessee want to know what kind of trolling motor you're going to use this year.
Well, this year is I am a free agent really when it comes to running a trolling motor this year. I've been with Motor Guide a long time. I love a Motor Guide. I love how it steers. I love how light they are compared to the Minn Kota. But the one thing that Minn Kota has is a spot lock, which for certain tournaments is an advantage, and other times it's not. A lot of times if I'm on the bank, I put 10-foot power poles on the boat this year to hold me in place when I'm up shallow. So that is the question mark right now of whether I actually have both trolling motors. I have a Minn Kota and a Motor Guide. So
you're putting them both on at the same time?
Yeah. I put one in front, one in the back. I don't know. But I know Motor Guide's got some new technology that they're working on, but it's is it going to be out this season? No. So I just whatever I'm going to feel is going to give me the biggest advantage, for the season really right now.
All right, Dave and a couple other people want to know, when did you start the routine of showing up at the ramp super, super early and going through your routine prior to the day's competition?
About 20 years ago, I guess. I don't know. I'm one that's always woke up early. Probably some of it was probably pre-tournament jitters, or you just can't sleep at night, stressed out early on, and so I couldn't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just gonna go to the boat ramp and wait. And then I get there, and Rick Clunn's already there. No, but I don't like. My whole deal is I alleviate any stress in the morning. I just like to be relaxed. So I get up, I stretch, I work out, I do whatever I got to do in the morning. I like to be at the ramp early, so I'm not dealing with lines, 50 deep, trying to wait to get in to dump my boat. So I get in early, park my boat wherever I want to park it, and then I go sit back in the truck and listen to tunes and chill, and then think about a game plan for the day. That's how it came down.
What's the most stressful moment? Have you had any? Have you ever had it where someone just keeps knocking on the damn window, or you don't get there in time, or you do have to wait in line? Let's hear some good stories from all those years of going to the ramp where you're like, dude, I'm trying to get focused and just it did not go well.
I don't know particular events, but yeah, there's plenty of times. I mean, it's I'm in the truck and it's got tinted windows, but people hear the stereo over there like, oh, just come up and hey, just they want to talk fishing or get an autograph, and you know, it kind of takes you out of your groove a little bit, but it's, you know, it is what it is. But
all right, Mark in Minnesota wants to know: is there any behind the scenes stuff you can tell us that went down doing the General Tire ads?
Behind the scenes stuff?
Yeah,
because logistics are nuts.
There's a lot of laughing. I'm saying that right now. Edwin and I have laughed our asses off doing those. Now, I'd say last year was probably, so here, this is behind the scenes deal, that because we used a live fish for scenes, and it's and the commercials aren't a national television broadcasting, it's not just internet, so you have to have a animal handler. Basically, what do they do?
Certified. Make sure that you're taking care of them.
We can only have the fish out of water for so many seconds. We can only use a fish so many times, once, twice, 3 times. We've had a couple different people doing this. So
isn't that a union thing?
It is. The process we had to go through to be able to use fish in the commercial just blew my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? So I got a fishing license that allows me to go capture 5 bass, take it home, fillet them if I want. But I can't harm this fish in the television commercial. And I know we're trying to harm them. I mean, we're all about conservation, and that's what we do, because we keep it going. But the process was like, are you kidding me? We've handled more fish, lady, than you've ever seen in your life, watching television or anything else. We know how to handle a fish. And yeah, that's just so. That was the part that was like, I just wanted to kick something.
So where were those shot at?
Let's see. So the last series, the ones that just come out, we shot those up in Chicago. And an office building up there. They just rented an office building. The year before, we shot in Oklahoma, Tulsa area. Skiatook. So where you see my boat on the water?
Yeah.
And with my desk and my office?
Yeah.
That was on, I believe, Skiatook.
Huh. All right, so that one... We got feedback. You got it. That one in Skiatook is the one where you're like, I am in the office, and you've got your office on the boat, and Edwin's like, what are you doing? And then right at the end, you set the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you setting the hook into? That wasn't a fish, was it? Was that a real hook set? Did you actually hook up there?
I worked on a bunch of them right there. Like, no joke. I caught like 10 fish right there.
So that was an actual hook set.
Release them all in your tournaments right there.
That was an actual hook set at the end of that commercial where you...
I don't remember. Did we take it like 50 takes, so... Which
okay.
I don't remember.
So there's a chance that was a real legit hook set. It wasn't like someone holding your rod or tied the line to the end.
That boat ramp, and so did Edwin.
Okay. Because I asked that because it looked like a real hook set. Because I vividly thought to myself when I watched it, I said, that looks like a real hook set to me.
It's a real hook set.
Well, you know when they set the hook into a logger. Jeffries did a Bass Zone promo.
Jesus.
Jeffries did a Bass Zone promo for Team BZ where he had 10 guys setting the hook into logs, and you can tell that it's a log every hook set. But I was like, ooh, that looked legit. So I figured I'd ask you if it was legit or not. And apparently it was. I know where I'm fishing on Skiatook now.
Hey, Dave wants to know, do you have to get a SAG card to do those commercials?
Say that again?
Do you have to get a SAG card? A SAG card?
No, not on these. I did when I shot the ESPN commercial for ESPN Mobile. I had to do my SAG card and all that.
That's Screen Actors Guild, correct?
Yes.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. We have to talk about what is behind you. I know a lot of professional athletes today, they have jerseys of people that they've actually competed against in like their game room or office or something like that. And I mean, we see the Nitro jersey behind you. What else do you have, Skeet?
As far as jerseys?
Yeah.
I got Nixons, I got Browers, I got KVDs. Obviously, the Godfather, Rick. I think that's it. Well, then I got my baseball buddies. So I got the late Roy Halladay and Chris Carpenter. So, and Doc. I mean, Roy. He had the biggest collection of jerseys I've seen. It's pretty impressive. I go up there and I just run. I'm pillaging through his jerseys in the locker, and he had Peyton Manning's and. Everybody. He had a Jordan one. He's had Brady's. He's got, and then any baseball, Ripken Jr. or Cal Ripken. I don't know how many jerseys are in there, but so it always made me feel good when I went into the house and my jersey would be like in front of all the rest of these mega athletes. So it was pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, a number of people want to know, what are your thoughts about Hartwell and the Classic?
Looking forward to it. It's just, I guess I've seen how much it could change. I mean, I've had some really great days for myself on Hartwell. I shouldn't say, I think the last 2 times we've been there, I've had one good day where I actually blast them. And then the other days I completely suck butt. And I'm trying to figure out how to still have a great day, but not have that just crash and burn. And so weather plays a big factor in Hartwell as far as cloud cover versus sun. But the water temperature, it's going to be interesting to see because we're obviously going later this year. Right now it looks like we've kind of had a cold winter, so I'm not expecting the water to be too warm, but it can get 70 degrees and they can be up there on the bank making babies. I have no idea.
It's true. All right, Carl in Ohio wants to know, there is a new Ranger listed for sale online offered by Skeet. Is that you?
Yeah. But that created a little that's created a little controversy the last couple of days, so
just bypass that. We'll just move on.
What'd you want? Can't believe you asked him that.
Do what?
I'm just giving you a hard
time.
time.
I had no idea, dude.
I don't either.
I
want to know about it now, though.
We'll just keep moving on. Keep moving on after that one. All right, Skeet. I know you really, really like Mexico. You take a trip to Mexico every year. When you get done with this game, where would you want to live and why?
Wow. See, I don't see myself living anywhere different. I mean, I love Northern California. I mean, the weather we have here is, I'm in the foothills of going up to Lake Tahoe. So I got the Sierra Mountains all around me. I'm in one of the nicest areas I think I could live in the entire country.
Yeah.
But not to say that I won't travel more and spend a couple months in Mexico, or I might be in Argentina. I might be, who knows? Wherever the fish are big and mean and biting.
Have you done the peacock bass thing?
Shit, dude.
Have you done the peacock bass thing? Do you like doing that?
Yeah, peacocks are fun. So yeah, I mean, we've had a couple trips. I think I haven't caught any big. I think the biggest one I've caught is like 15, 16, bunch of 10s. I mean, for pound, or for a freshwater fish, they're violent as all get out. So we've had some great trips there. I want to go fish for the giant arapaimas. And I want to go. I want to go to New Guinea and fish for the perch over there. Yeah, I want to do some exotic stuff. I don't, not, but I like chasing giant tuna too. So,
have you done the GTs yet? Have you caught any of those GTs?
Giant trevallies?
Yeah.
No.
Those look fun.
I like to though. It's an easy one, but the big Goliath grouper, I want to catch one of those 300 plus.
You've never done that?
No, I've done it, but I've gotten a small one. I haven't got a big one.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
And I want to actually catch a bull shark or a hammerhead from the beach. I know those guys down in Florida. I mean, now they use drones. They use a drone to fly their bait out there, release the bait out there a half a mile, and catch 9-10 foot sharks in the beach, or from the beach, literally just
free spool. They're real out there, and yeah, that's the cool thing. You do a lot of YouTube watching? You watch all that cool stuff on there?
No. Some of us actually work and do stuff for a living and have kids. And
do tell, Skeet.
You're single. You're single with nothing to do in life, Panger. So
he can sit there and peruse.
You watch YouTube and porn, probably.
He's calling you out, Panger.
More so on the YouTube. fish porn.
You can't see how red he is right now.
I'm not red at all. I've got a nice base layer. I like to keep getting the sun rays. That's a nice base layer tan you're seeing right there.
Red. Oh yeah, and it's January. All right. Major League Fishing, Skeet. What can you tell us about maybe what's on the horizon and just kind of your general thoughts on the progression over the years that Major League Fishing has went through?
Well, it's been a journey, that's for sure, and it's been a fun ride. I'm probably more excited about Major League Fishing than anything else, any other tournament circuit right now, just because the upswing there is no limit for Major League Fishing right now. The fan base for it is phenomenal. The feedback we get from viewers on a daily basis from around the world are like, this is their favorite product to watch, period. So our television ratings are phenomenal. The exposure we're getting for it is amazing. The format is stressful. So it's fun to be part of it. It really is. I get to see both sides of it. From the angling standpoint, God, I just hate it because it's so stressful. I mean, it just but from what I see, what it's doing for the fans and the business side of it and television exposure and how many people that don't even fish, like, that show is really fun to watch. So it's really engaging a whole new audience that would not watch a tournament episode of any other organization prior. So it's fun right now because, I mean, it's trending this way. What the limit is on it, I don't know. But I know that it's, my guess is down the road where we'll see more and more of it. And I think we got 680 some odd hours of airtime, which is a lot. Yeah, I got Discovery Channel and obviously Outdoor Channel, and they're gonna be on ABC for the World Championship, 6 weeks running. So that'll be, I think, in June. So that's some cool stuff. I mean, but it's obviously it's not a platform that allows everybody to participate in it. So Bass and FLW are still right now we need them. I mean, that still gives us, that's our normal playground to be able to go out and compete against larger groups of anglers, exposing sponsor brands and doing our traditional tournament fishing there. So right now that's, Bass and FLW, we still, we got to have them.
Right. Were you one of the original investors in Major League Fishing?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's a group of us that started it, and I think all but one is still still active and part of it.
Are you pumped that Shaw's using the black and yellow stuff this year?
I am.
I saw that. I saw that. It looked. I mean, see, he put it out on the Instagram there. Since I don't have anything to do except watch YouTube videos and peruse Instagram, I noticed that he put a picture out where he was using your products.
See, I didn't see an Instagram picture, but I do know that Shaw is going to be fishing my rods and reels this year. I'm honored, really. It's to have somebody that is just a good human being. Shaw is, I don't even know how to, he's just a good person. I mean, it's how you not love Shaw, I have no idea. But he's a living legend in our sport. He's pioneered a ton of stuff. So for him to be, and he's one of those guys that I looked up to as a kid, and because he's way older than I am. Hi, Shaw. But he inspired me when I was young and taught me. So to have, Rick Cluns has fished my product in the past. Now I got Shaw Grigsby, who's just, I respect the man tremendously, and for him to be able to fish my product is pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, a couple more from the instant feedback, and then we'll wrap that up. Dennis in Illinois wants to know your thoughts on Bass Live.
Bass Live. I personally, from the fan standpoint, I know you guys love it. As a competitor, I hate it. Just for the fact that it exposes everything. And that's if you're on the early part of it. If it's on the final day, it's really not a big deal. But it exposes to the fans and my competitors what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. And because I've already had the situation where people see on live on Friday or Saturday, and I go roll in there, and there's people fishing they're fishing the same water and doing the same stuff that I was doing that weren't there before. So that's the part. And that's why these guys, I mean, they're all competitors, is that they don't let anything slide. And I'm looking at like just the regular, the tour anglers. If there's a photo gallery on the website, they analyze and zoom in on every picture to decipher who's what color crankbait or jerkbait or chatterbait or worm or flip, and they analyze background to decipher, give them a little tip to use for the next day of competition. So when you have live coverage and it shows that house in the background, that windmill, that point, that tree, that dock, that bait, exact presentations, all that, it gives your competitor a lot of information that you don't want to have. So that's where I struggle with the Bass Live. But I know the fans love it, so they just be able to even though it's like watching paint dry at times because nobody's caught a bass, it's still intriguing to see how these guys fish.
All right. Your buddy Kent Brown, we asked him this question.
AB.
Do you think Sacramento or the Sacramento area could support a Bassmaster Classic someday?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the few venues out on the West Coast that really has a viable, platform to make it happen. I mean, you got the Fishery, the Delta, you've got Cal Expo, a huge coliseum, our trade center to put on the trade show. You could do Golden One Center for the weigh-in, and yeah, it is. The only other place I can think of is Vegas and Lake Mead. That as far as a West Coast fishery, that you could actually have the Classic. So Sacramento is definitely a viable candidate.
Did you ever fish the U.S. Open back in the day?
Oh, yeah. I fished the U.S. Open for a long time, a lot of years. Had a lot of fun. I was back in the heydays of, when John Murray and Byron Velvick. I mean, I think between the two of them won 4 of them. Aaron won a couple. So yeah, we were all single and young, and so we partied like rock stars and fished our butts off.
Would you ever think about fishing it again?
I've thought about it. It's just the timelines, and this year was like I was more inclined to do it, but it fell on the same week as Major League Fishing, so that didn't work out. But it's scheduling. I know they moved one bass, moved it back and put it later in the fall, so more tour anglers could be able to come and fish it, and it helped. I mean, their numbers were this. I think this was the biggest turnout they've had. But it's always, it's one of those lakes. You're not jacking giants, but it's all relative. It's if 10 pounds a day is huge and you're going to win, doesn't matter. You're going to win. The share having somebody fish in the back of the boat might screw me up though, because I don't know what to do. If somebody grabs the rod in the back of my boat, I turn around, I'm like, what are you doing? So you gotta have actually like a co-angler there. That would just like freak me out.
Skeet, we'll wrap it up here pretty quick. I got a little feedback. I'm going to turn that down. But obviously one of the most successful anglers on tour, not only from a performance standpoint, but also from a business standpoint. Have you really realistically thought about, okay, I want to do this 10 more years. I want to do this 5 more years. Are you one of the few guys that really has a plan in place to where when the year comes that you say, okay, this is going to be my last year on tour, that you have some concept of when that time might occur?
No, because it changed. To be honest with you, a couple of years ago, I thought I was done. I was battling, I was just boredom, depression of just the day-to-day life. I thought I was like tired of traveling and fishing. And then I've come to the conclusion that it's not fishing. That I love fishing. I watch video now of me in a tournament. I catch them. I'm giggling like a little kid. So I realized that my love and passion for fishing is still as strong as it's ever been. So at that, I'm like, why would I want to retire when I still love it? What else am I going to do? I mean, I can travel and do other stuff, but I still thrive on that adrenaline rush of jacking them in a tournament, and just that's fun. So at this point in time, I have no plan. I mean, I've got, there's a whole retirement plan and process out there,
right,
for when and why, when and where, don't know. So right now, I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm catching them. Why quit?
He's got the jersey of the guy behind him who's 71 years old and just won last year, 2 years ago. So
yeah, I don't know if I'll be out there when I'm 71.
How cool was that to see Rick win, though?
Oh my gosh, it was huge. I mean, anybody that's followed my career know that Rick has been a huge inspiration to me. He's the reason I do fish for a living, and he kind of brought me on board a little bit, mentored me a little bit when I started getting on the tour, and we've been friends since. And for him to watch him do that and to be part of it, to be able, I was like, he asked me to carry one of his bags of fish up. I was like, are you kidding me? So to be part of that day, and watch him achieve another milestone of winning a tournament at that age and all that was, it was right on par with me watching John Murray win last year. That was pretty amazing feeling.
All right, very cool, man. I can't thank you enough for taking time out, Skeet. You rock as always, and I know the people out there on the instant feedback appreciate you answering their questions, and wish you nothing but the best this year, man.
Thank you. We're going to go fish. They bite, I'm going to crack them in the head. If they don't bite, then I'll just go to the next one.
You got anything else, Matt?
Nope.
All right, there you have it. Skeet, I will be in touch, man, all right?
What's that?
I'll be in touch. I'll call you later.
All right,
man.
Thanks, Skeet.
All right, there you have it. Skeet Reese, great stuff. And some valuable insight on some of the things that he has going on.
Mm-hmm. And he's another one of those guys that I mean, I don't know how much. I don't think he gets a lot of pre-practice in as far as going and spending tons and tons and tons of time on the water. Kind of like that Van Dam deal where he's one of the few guys that has figured out how to dominate the business side of it and show up and still catch them, which a lot of other anglers,
I'm sorry.
really
I had no idea about the whole Ranger thing going on. Maynard kind of...
I have no idea what that's about. I want to call him up and ask him now. I'm curious about it. So,
obviously... something's going on there. Anyway, great show. Who do we have Thursday?
We got Greg Hackney on.
All right, I'm still looking at the instant feedback.
Yeah, the hits keep coming with Greg Hackney. And when me and you went through our picks last week on the Elite Series, you pointed out both on and off air that this could be a hack attack type season with the Sabine River on it and the Chesapeake Bay. Grand Lake, that time you could get on that. There's a number of fisheries that Hackney will be the favorite in. We've seen what he has been able to do for the past couple years. So Greg Hackney will be on, and then that will be our last show before I am on location with Dave Rush at Lake Martin to kick things off. The Elite Series starts next Tuesday. Next Thursday.
Yeah.
So 9 days from Elite Series action. It always amazes me every year how these guys are still getting ready and just hanging out at home and stuff, and then bam, they're in it and they're off and running, and before you know it, the year will be over.
Yeah. All right, back to 9 a.m. on Thursday, right?
Yeah, this was a special time, 11 for Skeet, which is actually 9 his time.
Yeah. So many thanks to Skeet Reese for taking time out. Good stuff there. Hey, a lot of people we haven't seen for a while on the instant feedback.
Good. Well, we used to do the show at 11.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for contributing to the show. We will be back on Thursday. Everybody be safe. Greg Hackney coming up on Thursday.